Shana Tova and welcome. This is a different way to begin our Rosh Hashanah service, and I am grateful to share this experience with you, even long distance. A few words of introduction before we begin. This service is pre-recorded and includes our soloist David Buzaglo and our musical director Alexander Marr. The text from our prayer book will appear on screen, as well as the page numbers for those who are following along in the printed book. Thank you for sharing these high holy days with Temple Israel in Canton, Ohio. Wherever this new year finds you, I hope that it will find you in good health, filled with hope and optimism for a bright new year. Shana Tova Umituka, a good and sweet new year to everyone.
Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elohecha, Venashuva, Chadesh, Chadesh, Yamenu kekedem. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyemanu והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Page 12. To everything there is a season and a time.
תיקעו בחודש שופר בכסל יום חגנו כי חוק לישראל הוא משפט לאלוהי יעקב.
Page 18. Accept my prayer as though it were offered by one more worthy of this task, a scholar, proficient in prayer, unblemished in character, pleasing in voice. Let love be our banner, let it banish our wrongs. May Israel's strife and misfortune be turned into joy, renewed life, and peace. Love, peace, and truth, may they prevail among us, and may there be no impediment to my prayer. Adonai, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, God of Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, great, mighty, awe-inspiring God Most High, who said to Moses, I will be what I will be. May it be your will that my prayer reach your presence for the sake of the righteous and blameless, the honest and pure of heart, for the sake of your glory. You hear your people's prayer with compassion. Blessed are you, the one who hears prayer. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, yehi ratzon shenizke levirchotecha bishnat chameshet alafim ushva me'ot v'shmonim v'achat. Elohei olam barech otanu ve'et kol Beit Yisrael b'chidush yameinu b'simcha u'v'shalom b'nechama u'v'ometz lev b'chilutz atzmaot u'v'ruach etana v'hi prisvatenu mikubal v'ratzui milfanecha b'fros Hashanah hachadasha la'ad modim anachnu lach al matnat hachayim. Our God and God of our ancestors, may we know your blessings in the year 5781. Eternal One, bless us and the whole house of Israel with renewed life, happiness, and peace, comfort and courage, resilience and strength. May the words of our hearts be acceptable to you in the new year that stretches before us. We are forever grateful for the gift of life. Page 22. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your great name fills the universe with majestic might. Your word creates twilight and dusk as your wisdom opens the gates of night. Your discernment separates the changing seasons and causes the passage of time. The stars arrayed across the sky reveal your design. You roll out the cycle of darkness and light, shaping day and night. You sweep away day and carry the world into nightfall, setting day apart from nighttime. You are God of all we can perceive and all that is beyond our perception. Living, eternal God, be our sovereign to the end of time. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, creator of twilight and dusk.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto.
Page 28. You shall love Adonai your God with all your mind, with all your soul, and with all your strength. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be a symbol before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Page 36. Bless our sleep with peace, Adonai, and awaken us to life when we rise. With power sublime, spread over us your shelter of shalom, and through your wisdom restore us, make us whole. Let your name proclaim your presence in our lives, be our shield, make us stronger than the enemies we face, illness, war, famine, and sorrow, and stronger than the enemies in our hearts, wickedness and sin. Carry us to safety as on wings, for you are the monarch of grace, the sovereign of compassion. You are the one who cares for us and sets us free. Watch over us, we who go forth to life, watch over us, that we may come home in peace, now until the end of time. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Blessed One, you spread over us a canopy of peace, a shelter of shalom over all Israel, your people, and over Jerusalem.
Adonai, sefatai tiftachu fi hagi tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גואל לפני בניכם, למען שמו ואהבה. זוכרנו לחיים, זוכרנו לחיים, מלך חפץ בחיים, וכתבנו בספר חיים, למענך אלוקים חיים. מלך עוזר ומשי ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה מתים אתה רב למושיח. מחכל חיים וחסד, מחיה מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נוכלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים.
Page 54. Our God and God of the generations before us, may a memory of us ascend and come before you. May it be heard and seen by you, winning your favor and reaching your awareness, together with the memory of our ancestors, the memory of your sacred city, Jerusalem, and the memory of your people, the family of Israel. May we be remembered for safety, well-being, and favor, for love and compassion, for life and for peace on this day of remembrance. Zochrenu Adonai Eloheinu bo l'tova, ufokdenu vo livracha, v'hoshienu vo l'chayim. Favor us with words of deliverance and mercy. Show us the depth of your care. God, we await your redemption, for you reign with grace and compassion.
Adonai Eloheinu be'amecha Yisrael u'tefilatam be'ahava tekabel. תמיד עבודת ישראל ישראל עמך ושובך לציון
Page 62. God who is ours, God of all generations, to you we are grateful forever. Rock and protector of our lives, your saving power endures from age to age. We thank you and tell the tale of your praise, your power in our lives, your caring for our souls, the constant miracle of your kindness. Morning, noon, and night we call you goodness, for your compassion never ends. We call you mercy, for your love has no limit. We call you hope, now and for all time.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom v'tov b'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה משלומך. בספר חיים ברכה ושלום, ברכה ושלום ופרנסה טובה, ברכה ושלום, זכר וניכתב לפניך, אנחנו וכל עמך בית ישראל, לחיים טובים ושלום. ברוך אתה אדוני עושה השלום.
Page 244. We think of all who are in need of healing of body and spirit. May the one who brought blessings to our fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and to our mothers Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bring the blessing of health to those who are ill. May the Holy One, blessed source of life and healing, sustain and strengthen them with compassion and restore them to full health without delay. For all who struggle against illness, let renewal of spirit and renewal of body come soon. And together we say, Amen.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Page 74. Avinu Malkeinu, strong was the faith of generations before us. In exile they proclaimed enduring hope. In the shadow of persecution, they affirmed a transcendent love and compassion. Ours is a different age, less confident and certain, more tentative in its trust. There are many who say to the works of their hands, "You are our gods." But when our worship centers on our own creations, we feel less gratitude, more doubt, and despair. This is the paradox of our spiritual lives. We grow smaller in self-exaltation, nobler when we reach for you. On this night of return, let us find the humility to come close to you and open ourselves to your presence, for you are absent only when we fail to make room for you in our hearts, distant only when we turn away from you. Now, as others have done before us, let us overcome doubt and speak these words of affirmation. We call you Avinu. As loving parent, forgive our wrongs and failings, accept us in our human frailty. We call you Malkeinu. A sovereign of our souls, help us to rise from the brokenness to build a world of shalom. To this vision, we offer ourselves anew.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Amal Aleinu, Ve'al Aleinu, Ve'tapeinu. Avinu Malkeinu,
It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief, it was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light, it was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope, it was the winter of despair. We had everything before us, we had nothing before us. We were all going direct to heaven, we were all going direct the other way. In short, the period was so far like the present period that some of its noisiest authorities insisted on its being received for good or for evil in the superlative degree of comparison only. So begins Charles Dickens' 1859, A Tale of Two Cities. And so might one summarize our present circumstances. As the line apocryphally attributed to Mark Twain goes, history may not repeat itself, but it does rhyme. As we prepare to begin a new Jewish year, let us reflect for a few minutes on how our overall understanding of the world informs the kind of difference and impact that we try to make in it. We Jews understand history in a special way. Professor Yosef Chaim Yerushalmi posited in his 1982 book, Zachor, Jewish History and Jewish Memory, that the modern effort to reconstruct the past begins at a time that witnesses a sharp break in the continuity of Jewish living, and hence also an ever-growing decay of Jewish group memory. In this sense, if for no other, history becomes what it had never been before, the faith of fallen Jews. We today who willingly live at the intersection of the modern world and Jewish tradition must approach both the history of modernity, Dickens' history and Yerushalmi's history, and the memory of Judaism. We must approach both intentionally. We must avoid the temptation to become what Yerushalmi called fallen Jews. We ought always to be searching for meaning and for clarity in both the universal and the particular, because it is precisely in the space between these two sometimes conflicting and sometimes cooperating worlds that our lives find purpose and that we can make our collective impact. We study history to learn patience and to listen for the rhymes. We learn in order to live as a part of the wider world while still remaining slightly apart from it. And we do not only study Jewish history, we live Jewish memory. The simple act of making time and taking the effort to participate in a Rosh Hashanah worship service in this odd way today, not in a synagogue with others, this simple act is an echo of thousands of years of tradition. It is a liturgical rhyme that is markedly different than anything we have experienced before, yet is somehow familiar. In the recasting and the reimagining of a communal prayer experience, here are all of the elements that define our lives at this intersection of modern history and Jewish memory. We cannot be together in person these holy days, so we use every available modern technology to try to make up for what we are missing. We shuffle the liturgy a bit and abbreviate it. We pre-record the traditional music that evokes so many memories, and we juggle hardcover prayer books with digital renderings of ancient words. We make our homes into small sanctuaries until we can be together again in person. The traditions remain intact in these new forms. Here we are at the intersection between modernity and tradition. Here we are, experiencing both the best of times and the worst of times. From our privileged vantage point, let us begin the new year with an intention to listen for the rhymes, to change behavior and attitudes, and to make the most of the opportunities that are ours. Let us consider Dickens' classic introduction to A Tale of Two Cities through a modern Jewish lens. We remember the worst of times, even in the best of times, and we work during the worst of times to alleviate suffering and hardship for all. We remember our foolishness so that we can be wise. We are always learning and growing and keeping our minds open to new ideas so that we can do better with what we have than others did before we were here. We refuse to allow mistakes to stop us from trying to do better, and we refuse to allow willful ignorance to become our idol. We remember a steadfast belief even when it seems incredulous to have faith. The cynic says that no matter how bad it is, it can always get worse. Our Jewish memory teaches us that no matter how bad it is, it could always be worse, and we have the power and the obligation to make it better. And we remain hopeful despite the overwhelming temptation to despair. History teaches us and memory sustains us, both providing frameworks for making sense of the senseless. It is our Jewish memory that compels us to gather, even from a distance, to mark the end of one year and the beginning of the next. We are living through history, and we are also actively creating memories. Together, from our unique intersection at modernity and Jewish tradition, we can find meaning and make a difference in both worlds. It is up to us to choose wisdom, belief, light, and hope in the best of times and the worst of times. Shana Tova.
Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elohecha, v'nashuva, Chadesh, Chadesh, Yameinu kekedem.
Page 89. The light of life is a finite flame. Like our sacred candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows, it is radiant with warmth and beauty, but soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance and our lives are full, but as night follows day, the candle of our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading in the darkness. With our lives we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. Page 90. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divarach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, be'chayechonu v'yomechonu v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agalav v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam v'le'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudesha b'richu. La'ela u'la'ela mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, and may it be a source of comfort to all who are bereaved. Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru.
Shabbat Shalom and good Yontif. For those I haven't met, I am Shelley Schweitzer, and I have the privilege of serving as president of Temple Israel. I want to focus my remarks on what is rather than on what isn't this year. I thank God every day for this community and for this Temple family that, while physically distanced, is still very much here for each other. We have been innovative, and in many ways, we have not missed a beat. We have welcomed Rabbi Komorowski and his family to our community with phone calls, emails, and of course, catered meals during their quarantine time. Each Shabbat, we come together for worship and a virtual oneg that reminds me of children running unsupervised around the bima as people and voices pop on and off the screen. We engage in the study of Torah through a myriad of classes and educational opportunities, and we have celebrated and mourned together at life cycle events, ranging from everything from baby namings to shivas. We are a resilient people. We are here for each other. Thank you to everyone who has checked in on another, brought food or sent a card, said a prayer, or brought comfort. To all who have enriched our worship and classes by their participation, and to all who have continued to engage in the social action and social justice work that is a hallmark of this congregation, I thank you. May 5781 be a year filled with many joys, with more joys than oys, from our house to yours, Lashana Tova, a sweet and healthy new year.
Adon olam asher malach, b'terem kol yetzir nivrach, le'et nasa v'chepsa kol, azayin melech shemo nikra. Vehu echad ve'en sheni, lecham shilo, lecha bira, beli reshi, beli tachlit, belo chaoz ve'hamizrach. Beyodo afkid rochi, be'tisham ve'ayira, ve'im rochim geviyati, Adonai li ve'lo yira.
Page 99. Yehi ratzon milfanecha Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, shetchadesh aleinu shana tova u'metuka. Our God and God of our ancestors, eternal God of all generations, may your presence in our lives this new year renew our spirits and renew our strength. May it be a good year, may it be a sweet year. L'shana tova tikatevu v'techatemu. May you be inscribed and sealed for a good year. Shana Tova.
Tekiah Gedolah.